All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who do well. Peace and salutations to the elect, scattered out the four corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word, truth, and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all, I say Shalom. My name is Ahmawan Ahyash. Back with another lesson through the pound spirit of Yahweh by Yahawashi. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. On this Day of Atonement, as the brothers and elders and apostles and brothers doing videos on this government shutdown actually happened during the Day of Atonement, which is spiritual. We're looking forward, we're constantly and continuously looking forward to the downfall and the collapse of American society, the collapse of Babylon the Great. And when we see these things happen, these are signs that we're that much closer to that being a reality, to the end and the fall of Babylon the Great, this empire. Okay, now whether this place completely collapses due to the shutdown or not, whether they open up the government again, is not necessarily the point. The point is the spirit of this place is failing, and that's what we're watching for. We're watching for the collapse of the dollar, the collapse of these the government, the political landscape, everything that makes up Babylon the Great. We're watching it fall right in front of our eyes. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to witness. And again, whether they open up the government and they come to an agreement on their spending and their budgets, regardless of that fact, whether it happens or not, again, the spirit of this place is failing. So this is the article from RT News that came out. It says U.S. government shuts down. Straight to the point, it says Republicans and Democrats has failed to break the Senate deadlock over spending priorities. Okay, and when the government shut down, Democrats and Republicans, they failed to come to an agreement on spending and what the funding should go to. This is what happens. It says the U.S. federal government has shut down for the first time in almost 7 years after Republicans and Democrats failed to agree on a spending bill in the Senate. The deadline to approve the funds running the government expired on Wednesday, as both parties rejected each other's spending plans in a back-to-back vote. The Democrats refused to back the Republican bill while demanding an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. Along with the reversal of Medicaid cuts, the GOP framed their plan as a clean, nonpartisan solution, but the Democrats argued it would endanger the health care of many Americans. It says both sides blamed each other for the crisis. Okay. Senate Republican leader John Thune said far-left interest groups and far-left Democrat members wanted to shut down with the president. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer accused the Republicans of risking America's health care and refusing to negotiate in good faith. And that's something that we've seen from these political parties in the most recent. It says both sides blamed each other for the crisis, and we're seeing that here in America, here in Babylon the Great. So let me just go get that first. In the scriptures, Matthew 12:25 said, and Yahawashi knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right, so this is a house. This is a country, this is a nation, this is a people that is divided against itself, okay? And when you have this type of division, like we see with these Democrats and Republicans, it's bound to eventually collapse on its head. It's bound to completely fail to where it can't rise up again, all right? And that's prophecy. That's biblical prophecy concerning America, concerning Babylon the Great, and concerning Esau, Edom. All right. It says, if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall the kingdom stand? And the kingdom cannot stand with so much division within it. Okay, it's bound to fail. All right, and this is what we're watching here. All right, it says The White House pointed the finger at Democrats with its website now featuring a clock marking the duration of the crisis titled "Democrats Have Shut Down the Government." And you know, that's Trump, because Trump is Trump is an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Democrats have shut down the government. Like, he's putting out memes and shit with Chuck Schumer, with some crazy stuff. You got to go to his Twitter or whatever. But it's you know, this it just goes to show how much of a joke this place is. You know. There's another article that, from Newsbreak. I just want to read this. It says, Trump threatens to use government shutdown to enact irreversible cuts and mass layoffs. This is from Salon. All right. It says Trump threatens to use government shutdown to enact irreversible cuts and mass layoffs. All right. Now, it says here, the U.S. government has officially entered a shutdown, bringing with it the rising threat of mass federal layoffs and cuts to safety net programs. Okay, so mass federal layoffs. When the government shuts down, all those federal workers will not be getting paid. They still have to work. They still have to report to their desk, to their duty, to their job, but they do not get a paycheck. Okay, while the government is shut down, because no funding has been approved for them to get paid. Okay, yes, that includes wages for government workers. All right, so which just goes to show how effed up things are here in this country, man. You got people. You can justify people actually working in your nation, in your country, for the government, and not paying them? That just goes to show how corrupt Esau is, how corrupt Babylon is, how unfair he is. Right now, once the government opens back up, but we're suspecting it will, those employees will get their back pay from the weeks or whatever, the days, the weeks, or the months that they did not get paid and worked. But that's not the point. The point is the fact that you'll have people work without getting paid it's wicked. It's evil, man. You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show they're not really worried about you Americans. They don't care. They don't care about your livelihood. They don't care about your sustainability. They don't care whether you miss mortgage payments, rent, doctor bills. They don't care if you ain't got food to go grocery shopping. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? This is an evil, wicked ruler we're talking about, man. This is an evil ass, wicked ruler we're talking about. Okay. Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Imagine that. Imagine working and not getting a paycheck. It's crazy. That's insane, man. You feel like doing something vicious to somebody, man. You feel like, committing a crime, something like that, man. You feel like going up somebody's head. When you get done unjustly and unfairly like that, it says in the final hours before funding lapsed, President Donald Trump escalated the stakes, warning that the administration might exploit the shutdown to enact irreversible cuts to healthcare and social benefit programs. We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them, Trump told reporters on Tuesday, referring to Democrats, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting programs that they like. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's the infighting. It's tit for tat. It's you don't give me this, but we don't give you that. We can't have that, but we can't have this. And it's a back and forth. They're all petty. They all act like children, but they're corrupt at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And we know ultimately what's going to happen when this place does collapse. It's going to be an orchestrated collapse, okay? Because they want to implement this whole new world order system. So, again, this is the part of it, but we are to keep our eyes. We are the watchmen to keep our eyes on these things and to report them for the elect, okay? Got a couple precepts here. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 4. And it reads, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Okay, when the sound of grinding is low, that means that there's less jobs, less ways to earn income and pay to survive, to support your families. Okay, and he shall rise up the voice of the bird, and all the doors of the music shall be brought low. So all of this jolly, merry go, you know what I mean, happy go lucky spirit, that's gonna be gone. You know, ain't gonna be too much more of that. You know, because the grinding is low. And a lot of what they're doing is too, and we've talked about this for a while too. You know, a lot of these jobs that they're going to cut, they're going to be replaced by AI. You know, so that's another part of it. So there's another a way people are going to be suffering out here as the days and the weeks and the months go on, as they continue to increase their technology and, you know what I mean, and change the world as we know it. All right, the grinding is low. People are already talking about how they can't find jobs and the pay is shit, and you know, people are being asked to do more work without raises, and you know what I mean, things of that nature, without the pay to match it, to match the work. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a manager at my job. I know. You know what I'm saying? I know what people are complaining about. I hear it. You know what I'm saying? I know about the cuts at these jobs and these businesses. I know about the pay. I know about the terrible benefit packages. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what brothers talk about, what brothers prophesy and teach about is real, man. All right? And another thing is that you know, as time goes on, you know, and the economy collapses and the dollar fails and supply chains get disrupted and things of that nature, guess what? It ain't gonna be no food on the shelves. There's gonna be hyperinflation. There ain't gonna be no food on the shelves. People are gonna be scrambling and running around. It's gonna be chaos out here. It's gonna be anarchy. 2 Ezra 6:22 says, and suddenly the sown places shall appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right? Because right now you go into the grocery stores and these markets, the shelves are stocked, fully stocked. The refrigerators are fully stocked, the shelves, right? There's plenty to go around, right? But that's not going to last very long, okay? There's going to come a time where them trucks is going to stop them boats is going to stop floating, and them trucks is going to stop trucking. And there ain't going to be no way for any food to get into these cities and get to the supermarkets and things of that nature, where you go buy food, the markets, right? And people are gonna suffer, man. People are going to suffer. All right, but the elect won't suffer. Okay, the elect will not suffer. The Lord's gonna protect His elect from the calamities that are gonna come. All right. I'm going to look for Isaiah. Is it 65? Just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure it is. Look, I don't need to search it. Isaiah 65, and I believe it's 13. Just to back up that point that I was just making. Isaiah 65 and 13 says, Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahawah, by Yahawashi, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. In the day and the time where the storehouses shall be empty and there's no food to go around, the servants of Yahweh by Yahawashi will eat. It says, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Because we believe, we have faith in Yahweh by Yahawashi. We did what we were told. We went out and prophesied and taught and made the sacrifices necessary in order for the Lord to deal with us. Okay, and it's about being a part. It's about fighting and striving and being a part of the elect at this point. Everything else is just completely irrelevant. Because we at the end, man. The scriptures say, behold, the end is at hand. Okay? The end of all things are at hand. All right? It says, verse 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Yeah, people are going to be crying and sorrowing and howling because there's no food, there's no resources, there's no, the grinding is low, there's no job, there's no way to support, screaming babies, hungry, screaming babies, people, cannibalism, anarchy. It's gonna be crazy out here, man. And people keep thinking these government shutdowns are just something that just can be fixed at the drop of a dime, because people believe in America that much. People believe in Esau Edom that much, that they think that as soon as a crisis or something happens, that they could automatically fix it. That's how they look at Esau, like a god. You know what I'm saying? That he could just fix anything. But what they don't know is that the true and living God, the true and living power, Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, has a judgment for Esau Edom, for Babylon the Great, to fully collapse and to not be brought up again, to not be healed. Okay? Let me get that, and I'll close this out. This is Isaiah, which I was already in, not Isaiah, Jeremiah 51, in verse 8, and it reads, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Okay? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Okay? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Yeah, the government may shut down. The government is shut down at the moment, and it may open up again, right? But eventually it's going to completely collapse. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, so, we're waiting for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi to completely throw this place down. We're excited about it. We cannot wait. And yeah, man, it's about striving and pushing and fighting to the end and not letting up. Keep believing until the end, because this place don't got much time left. All right, so with that, I'm gonna leave it there. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops, the great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.